Well, those budget cuts in Washington could clip a security and a safety net close to home.
The Texas National Guard could take a big financial hit. The Guard could lose as much as $800 million from cuts. As KXAN's Ignacio Garcia tells us, that could have a big impact on your safety when Central Texas faces a natural disaster.
When the fires raged across Bastrop during the state's worst fire in history, the Texas National Guard was at the center of it all, including firefighting, training, logistics, and maintenance of emergency equipment. Mike Fisher saw it all firsthand.
Texas National Guard was stepped right up to the plate. Without that, we would have never, ever been able to manage this event with that kind of efficiency.
Fisher says the Guard, which also worked closely with the Texas Forest Service and any number of emergency services, played a critical role in controlling the fire, including minimizing loss of life. He adds they also hold year-round training for more than 500 statewide firefighters at Camp Swift, which the Army says could lose more than $1.5 million.
We needed a place to stage, and they opened up their gates out here at Camp Swift for refueling and repair and feeding firefighters and other responders places to sleep.
The cuts could slow down or stop equipment maintenance and facility maintenance and training. Civilian workforces face furloughs starting next month. The head of the National Guard says it could all add up to critical aircraft, vehicles, and equipment not being ready when it's needed the most.
Well, I hope it doesn't happen. The amount of help that they bring to a local community in a disaster by itself is worth keeping that organization alive and well.
In Bastrop, Ignacio Garcia, KXAN News.
And we reached out to the Texas military forces to gain perspective on the potential impact of the cuts outlined in a report released by the Army. They told us it was too soon to tell, and they didn't want to speculate, but they're closely monitoring the situation. And looking in depth now, the forced budget cuts are hitting hard in the military communities right around Texas. The state stands to lose $2.4 billion from the cuts. Fort Hood will lose more than $290 million. 30,000 civilian workers will see their hours cut, and more than 2,000 people will lose their jobs.
The budget cuts will take a toll on schools that serve the children of military members. Nearly 15,000 teachers and staff at schools around the world face furloughs because of the cuts. Here in the U.S., the cuts are taking money from a federal program called Impact Aid, which helps districts with large areas of land that are exempt from local property taxes, like military bases. This program helps about 1,400 districts around the country. Some air travelers are feeling the effect of the budget cuts now. It means less overtime for security screeners, which could lead to those longer waits. And that's what has happened at checkpoints at airports in Los Angeles and Chicago. Those cuts, though, have not had an effect at Austin's airport. ABIA reports that wait times at security lines today were normal.